All right, so today we're going deep on network security management, specifically kind of drilling down into the FortiAnalyzer 7.4 exam.
Okay.
You've shared some really solid resources with us, and I think our mission here is to extract like the key insights, in particular around how FortiAnalyzer really helps organizations manage and respond to security events.
Exactly. And I think whether someone is, actively preparing for the FCP, FAZ 87.4 certification, or maybe they're just trying to get a better strategic understanding of how security analytics work within their organization, or even if they're just curious about, how their digital ecosystems are being monitored and protected.
Right.
We're going to unpack some of the essentials today.
Yeah.
We'll explore those core concepts and functionalities that your sources highlighted.
I like to think of it as like our personalized strategy session for anybody listening.
I like that.
We'll first, get a clear picture of what this exam is really testing.
Yes.
And then we'll jump into some really insightful practice questions. And these aren't just like those surface level questions.
No.
These are designed to illuminate,
Yeah.
the crucial capabilities of FortiAnalyzer. Like how to effectively handle those, unavoidable errors.
Yeah.
How to identify those complex threats.
Yes.
And how to ensure optimal system performance.
Absolutely.
So are you ready to dive in?
I am ready.
Okay, let's do it.
So first, like just, kind of paint a picture of the exam itself.
Okay.
Just for some context.
All right.
The official name, as your sources indicate, is the FCP FAZ AD 7.4.
Right, the FCP FAZ AD 7.4.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that acronym if you're going through study materials.
Yeah.
And in terms of time commitment,
Yes.
you'll have a total of 65 minutes to complete it.
That is correct.
65 minutes.
And within that time, you'll be facing 35 multiple choice questions.
Okay, 35 multiple choice questions in 65 minutes.
Exactly. So efficiency and really, focused knowledge are going to be key.
Sounds like a good test of, practical understanding.
Absolutely.
And how about scoring? How does that work?
Well, it's a straightforward pass or fail system.
Okay,
You receive a score report directly from Pearson VUE.
gotcha. So, on exam day, that's helpful to know.
Yes. And one more important point, I think especially for a global audience, is the exam is offered in English, Japanese, and French.
Yeah, that's a really good point about accessibility.
Right.
And crucially, this exam hones in on specific software versions.
Yes.
We're talking FortiAnalyzer 7.4.1 and its counterpart FortiOS 7.4.1.
That's correct.
So if you are studying out there, make sure your knowledge aligns with these exact versions.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, so we've got those like foundational exam details in place.
Yeah.
Let's get to the heart of our discussion today.
Okay.
Those illuminating practice questions.
Excellent.
You ready to tackle these?
I'm ready.
All right.
So our first question actually delves into a pretty critical aspect of any automated system.
Right.
And that is, what kind of safeguards are there when things don't exactly go as planned?
Right, those unexpected hiccups.
Exactly. So this question asks about the function of a playbook rollback within FortiAnalyzer.
Playbook rollback.
Yeah.
So what exactly does that do?
Right. So is it A, manually restarting those failed tasks?
Okay.
B, automatically reverting changes if an error occurs?
Got it.
C, backing up the playbook before it's executed?
Right.
Or D, allowing real-time monitoring of those execution logs?
What's the primary purpose here?
Okay, so according to the materials you shared, the correct answer is B. It automatically reverts the changes made by a playbook if an error occurs.
So it's like a safety net
Exactly.
for when things go wrong.
Exactly. It's all about, making sure the system can recover gracefully
Right.
from those unexpected issues.
I mean, why is that automatic rollback so essential, especially in security?
Well, it's all about maintaining the integrity of the system and preventing, potentially widespread issues.
Yeah.
Imagine you have this complex security automation running, making lots of changes across your network.
Right.
And then, boom, something goes wrong. Without an automatic rollback, you could be left with a system in a really precarious state.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Inconsistent configurations, vulnerabilities, you name it.
Right.
This rollback feature, it's like an undo button.
I like that.
For those critical security automations,
Yeah.
it lets you experiment, implement complex workflows with a much lower risk of causing widespread disruption.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a real game changer for agile security operations.
I can see why.
It's all about minimizing the blast radius of those unforeseen issues.
That really resonates, especially when you think about how intricate security configurations can be.
Absolutely.
Knowing you can automatically backtrack from errors.
Yeah,
That offers a lot of peace of mind.
definitely.
Okay, let's move on to our second question.
Okay.
This one focuses on tracking system activity.
Right.
So, which log type within FortiAnalyzer is specifically, designated for recording administrative actions and system-level changes?
Okay.
Is it A, event logs,
Okay.
B, traffic logs?
Right. Security logs.
Okay.
Or D, system logs.
The answer in this case is D, system logs.
System logs, it seems kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But what kind of specific information would you typically find within system logs?
Well, they meticulously record a wide array of activities.
Okay.
Things like user logins and logouts. Any modifications made to the system's configuration.
Gotcha.
And then just general system-related events.
Right.
Think of it as like a really detailed audit trail.
Okay.
Providing that chronological history of who did what and when.
Right, within that FortiAnalyzer environment.
Exactly. And why are they indispensable?
Yeah, why are they so important?
Well, for one, troubleshooting.
Okay.
When issues arise,
Makes sense.
they also ensure accountability
Right.
by tracking those user actions.
Yeah.
And they're often a key requirement for meeting compliance standards.
Oh, absolutely. So it's all about, having that auditable history
Exactly.
for oversight, accountability, and effective troubleshooting.
You go. All right, question 3 takes us into the world of incident response.
Okay.
So which of the following best describes the purpose of an incident playbook within FortiAnalyzer?
Okay. So is it A, the automated collection of event data from external sources,
Okay.
B, the provision of automated workflows to respond to incidents,
All right.
C, the scheduled generation of security and compliance reports,
Gotcha.
or D, the long-term archival of historical security incidents?
Which one's the best fit here?
All right, so the correct answer is B. It provides those automated workflows for responding to security incidents.
Incident playbooks, this sounds like a powerful way to standardize and accelerate incident response.
Yes, it's all about having those predefined procedures ready to go.
Right. So how do these automated workflows actually benefit security operations in the real world?
They bring immense value through efficiency and consistency.
Okay.
So when a security incident is detected, the playbook automatically kicks in, initiating a series of actions.
Like what kind of actions?
Well, it might involve sending alerts to the security personnel through various channels like email or SMS.
Gotcha.
It might automatically isolate a compromised system.
Right, to contain the threat.
Exactly. And it might even launch some initial mitigation procedures.
So it's like having a first responder?
Yeah, exactly.
It's always on duty.
That's a great way to put it.
By automating these crucial first steps,
Yes.
organizations can really cut down their response time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minimize human error.
Yeah.
And ensure a consistent approach to handling all sorts of threats.
It's like having a highly skilled security analyst available 24/7.
Wow. That paints a very clear picture.
Yeah.
It's like having that well-rehearsed emergency plan.
Yes.
That the system can execute on its own.
Precisely.
Okay, our next question.
All right.
This one shifts our focus a bit to the integrity of data and reporting.
Gotcha.
So what happens if an administrator accidentally applies the wrong data set to a report template in FortiAnalyzer?
Okay, interesting scenario.
What are the likely consequences?
So will A, the report just display incomplete or irrelevant data?
Okay.
B, the FortiAnalyzer system will completely prevent the report from being generated.
Gotcha.
C, the beta set will automatically correct itself to match the template. Or D, FortiAnalyzer will issue a warning but still generate the report.
So what's the most likely outcome in this situation?
Well, based on your sources, the most probable outcome is A, the report will display incomplete or irrelevant data.
It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly. The output just won't align with what you're looking for.
So why is it so crucial to make sure you have the right data set with the chosen report template?
Well, datasets really are the foundation of any report.
Okay.
They define the specific information that's included and analyzed.
Right.
If you choose an incompatible dataset, it's like feeding the report template the wrong ingredients.
Okay, so the output's going to be all messed up.
Exactly. You'll end up with a report that doesn't accurately reflect the data you need, leading to misleading interpretations and flawed security assessments.
So you could be missing critical information.
Exactly.
We're focusing on metrics that just aren't relevant.
That's right. It's a classic case of garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, but with some potentially significant consequences
Absolutely.
for security analysis.
Yes, very important point.
Right, question 5. This one explores some subtle but really important distinctions
Okay,
in security terminology.
I like it.
What's the key difference between a security incident and a security event within FortiAnalyzer?
All right, so is it A, an incident is automatically generated as a report, whereas an event requires manual reporting?
Okay.
B, an event represents a single log entry, while an incident groups related events into a case.
Gotcha.
C, an event always signifies an active threat, while an incident means it's been resolved.
Okay.
Or D, incidents are permanently stored for historical analysis while individual events are deleted.
So what's the crucial distinction here?
The key difference is B. An event is a single log entry, while an incident is a group of related events that form a cohesive case.
So an event is like a single data point.
Yes.
And an incident is when you see a pattern.
Exactly. You start connecting the dots.
Why is this grouping of events so valuable in security analysis?
Well, by grouping those related events into an incident, you gain a much more comprehensive and meaningful context for understanding those potential threats.
Right.
Like a single failed login attempt.
Okay.
That might not be a big deal on its own.
Right.
But if you see multiple failed attempts from the same IP address,
Yeah.
followed by unusual network traffic,
Okay.
directed towards sensitive servers,
Oh.
now that when grouped together,
Right.
suggests a potential brute force attack.
Right.
Or a compromised account.
You're seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Instead of just those isolated events.
And that allows security analysts to really identify attack patterns,
Yeah.
understand the scope of a breach, and respond much more effectively.
So it's like moving from individual puzzle pieces
Yes.
to seeing the whole picture.
Absolutely.
That's a great analogy.
And he helps make sense of it all.
Absolutely. That aha moment of realizing how those seemingly unrelated pieces of information can become a major security event.
Yeah.
That's so critical for threat detection and response.
It really is.
Okay. Our next question
All right.
addresses system performance,
Okay.
particularly when we're dealing with, huge amounts of security data.
The data just keeps growing.
So what are some methods that can be used to optimize the performance of FortiAnalyzer's database
Okay.
when it's managing, extremely large quantities of log data?
That's a great question.
Is it A, enabling verbose logging for all devices?
Okay.
B, indefinitely increasing the log retention period?
Right.
C, implementing log aggregation and H-cache optimization?
Got it.
Or D, disabling SQL database indexing to reduce overhead?
So which one of those would be the most recommended?
Yeah. Which was the best approach here?
The most highly recommended method is C, implementing log aggregation and H-cache optimization.
Log aggregation
Yeah.
and H-cache optimization.
Right.
That sounds pretty technical.
It is, but it's also very effective.
So break it down for me.
Okay, so log aggregation. It works by consolidating similar log entries,
Okay.
which reduces redundancy.
Right. Less duplication.
Exactly, and that makes the data set more manageable for storage and analysis.
Gotcha.
And then H-cache.
Yeah, what's that all about?
It stands for historical cache,
Okay.
and it preloads frequently accessed log data into memory.
So it's like a shortcut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It speeds up query performance because the system can grab that information from memory.
Right, which is much faster.
Way faster than constantly accessing the disk.
That makes sense.
Both of these techniques contribute to more efficient storage
Okay.
and faster retrieval.
Which is crucial when you're dealing with, the constant influx of log data.
Absolutely, especially in large networks.
It's a really smart approach to managing all that data.
Oh, it's about working smarter, not harder.
Right, focusing on efficiency and quick access.
Exactly.
Rather than just trying to store everything forever.
That's right.
Okay, question 7.
All right.
This one's about communication.
Okay.
How those valuable insights within FortiAnalyzer are actually shared.
Makes sense.
So what's the primary function of configuring an output profile in FortiAnalyzer?
All right, so is it A, to specify the recipients and format for reports and notifications?
Okay.
B, to determine how logs are initially stored?
Right.
C, to establish and manage firewall policies?
Gotcha.
Or D, to define parameters for data synchronization with FortiGate devices?
So what's the main purpose of an output profile?
The primary function is A, to specify those recipients and format for reports and notifications.
So it's all about ensuring the right information
Yes.
gets to the right people
Exactly.
and the right way.
And in a timely manner.
Can you give us some real-world examples of how this might be used?
Sure. So let's say you have a high-level executive summary report. You might configure that to be automatically emailed to senior management every week.
Gotcha.
While more detailed technical logs and alerts,
Yeah.
those might go directly to the security team,
Right.
maybe via email or even SMS.
So you can really tailor it?
Yes. You can also specify the format,
Okay.
maybe a PDF for a comprehensive report, or a quick text message for urgent alerts.
So it's about customization.
It really is.
Making sure those insights are delivered effectively.
And efficiently.
All right, our next question tackles a very real concern.
Okay.
Managing storage capacity.
Yeah, storage is always a hot topic.
When the available disk space is getting low, how does FortiAnalyzer handle that continuous flow of incoming logs?
Okay, so does it A, automatically compress those new logs?
Okay.
B, prioritize critical security logs over informational ones?
Gotcha.
C, enforce the data retention policy by deleting the oldest logs?
Right.
Or D, just completely stop collecting logs until more space is added?
So which option best describes how FortiAnalyzer handles this situation?
The correct answer is C. It enforces that data retention policy by systematically deleting the oldest logs.
So it's proactive?
Yeah, it's a controlled way to manage storage.
Why is this approach so important for maintaining system functionality and complying with data retention requirements?
Okay, so by deleting those older logs, according to the retention policy, the system ensures that it can keep recording new logs without interruption.
Gotcha.
So you maintain those critical security monitoring capabilities.
Makes sense.
And it prevents the system from completely running out of space.
Right, which could be really bad.
Yeah, you could have instability or even system failure.
So the data retention policy itself is usually determined by...
Well, by regulatory compliance requirements and the organization's own needs.
So this automated process helps balance efficiency and compliance.
Exactly.
It's a sensible way to keep things running smoothly.
It really is.
Okay, question 9 introduces another key piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
Integration.
Right.
Specifically, FortiAnalyzer with FortiSOAR.
Right.
What role does FortiAnalyzer play in this relationship?
Okay, great question. So does A, FortiSOAR need FortiAnalyzer to work at all?
Okay.
B, does FortiAnalyzer send log data to FortiSOAR for analysis and response?
Gotcha.
C, does FortiSOAR manage reporting in FortiAnalyzer?
Right.
Or D, is the integration only through an external API?
So how do these two platforms actually work together?
Based on your materials, the correct answer is B. FortiAnalyzer sends log data to FortiSOAR for that advanced analysis and response orchestration.
So it's like a data pipeline.
Yeah, you could say that.
FortiAnalyzer feeds the information to FortiSOAR.
Yeah.
How does this collaboration actually improve an organization's security?
Well, FortiSOAR stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response.
Right, FortiSOAR.
It takes that raw data from FortiAnalyzer and elevates it.
Elevates it? How?
To a much higher level of automation and intelligence. It uses that information to correlate events, enrich them with threat intelligence,
Gotcha.
and then trigger those automated responses.
So it's like taking action based on the insights.
Exactly.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. So let's say FortiAnalyzer detects suspicious activity.
Okay.
FortiSOAR analyzes it and determines it's a high-confidence attack. It can then automatically isolate the affected host, block malicious IPs at the firewall, or initiate other predefined incident response workflows.
All without any human intervention.
At least not initially.
That's impressive.
It's a game changer.
So it dramatically accelerates response times, reduces manual workload, and leads to a more proactive and resilient defense.
Exactly. It's all about turning data into action.
I love that, turning data into action.
That's the goal.
All right, our final question for today.
Okay, bring it on.
This one brings us back to the basics.
Right.
Identifying threats within that sea of security data.
Right. It can be overwhelming.
What's the primary role of a correlation rule in FortiAnalyzer's event management system?
So does it, A, automatically enforce firewall rules based on anomalies? B, aggregate multiple events to identify potential incidents?
Got it.
C, proactively block traffic from known bad IPs?
All right.
Or D, generate traffic reports based on correlated data?
So what's the main function of a correlation rule?
The correct answer is B. It aggregates and analyzes multiple security events to identify those potential incidents that might not be obvious from individual events alone.
Correlation rules, they sound like the key to, sifting through all that noise.
They really are.
And pinpointing those hidden threats.
Exactly.
So how do they work in practice?
Well, they're essentially predefined sets of conditions that FortiAnalyzer is constantly monitoring across all that log data.
Right.
So let's say a certain number of failed logins,
Okay.
followed by a successful login from a weird location.
That sounds suspicious.
That would trigger a correlation rule,
Right.
indicating a potential incident.
So by looking for specific patterns
Yes.
and sequences across events,
Right.
they help identify those complex attacks.
It was coordinated campaigns that might otherwise go unnoticed.
That's so important.
It really is.
It's like finding those needles in the haystack.
Exactly.
I think our exploration today has only scratched the surface
Agreed.
of a much larger and constantly evolving field.
It's an exciting time to be in cybersecurity.
It really is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious.
And stay secure.